got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person. Let's say you don't like me. Like, you don't know me. Like, you feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Him. If everybody is cool with him, I mean, with him.
There's a reason why Canelo is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Fight fans, welcome back.
Now what they gonna say? They always talk, I'm the best fighter in the world.
Felt like, man, we fought when we were some little kids.
Right.
Man, I'm about to knock you out.
Gervonta Tank Davis has recently criticized Terence Bud Crawford, labeling him a fool for pursuing a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Davis questioned Crawford's motivations, suggesting financial gain as the primary driver. Following Tank's comment,
Gentlemen and ladies, boxing enthusiasts all over, prepare yourselves. Today's show will surely upset some people. On one side, Terence Bud Crawford, the slick, unbeaten, pound-for-pound monarch who recently vanquished the welterweight category and is now looking at the 168-pound kingdom. But hold up, in the opposite corner, we have none other than...
Because he was scared. Well, he is one of the scariest fighters in the sport.
Ripping Omaha, Nebraska.
You can say that Canelo's going to knock Bud out, but is he?
Tank, Gervonta Davis, famous for turning off lights and stopping hype trains with nuclear left fists. What about this time? He's not throwing punches, he's slinging shade. Indeed, you heard correctly. Gervonta Davis has challenged Terence Crawford. And not for a fight, oh, no, but for what he says is one of the worst acts in boxing right now. Calling Crawford a straight-up fool for entering the ring with Canelo Alvarez. Let it settle in for a second. Why is Tank, who generally remains in his lane, taking verbal shots at one of the sport's most revered champions? Is he merely stoking the pot? Or is there some truth in what he's saying? Today, we're delving deep into this wild meat, from the danger of fighting Canelo to the hazards to legacy, money, and respect. We're breaking it all down, and believe me, you don't want to miss this fire. Let's get into it. So, how did we ever get here? Terence Crawford, after cleaning the floor with Errol Spence Jr., has made it apparent he's pursuing greatness. Not satisfied with only being the king at 147, he wants to climb all the way up to super middleweight to fight the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. Now, on paper, this is the type of narrative that gives you chills. A courageous underdog, going up not 1, not 2, but 3 weight classes. Attempting to take on modern-day legend. It sounds like something out of a Rocky movie, right? But let's be real, this ain't Hollywood, this is actual life, and real life has serious repercussions. Gervonta Davis, renowned for voicing his opinion, wasn't buying the narrative. He went on social media and straight up clowned Crawford, called him a fool, said he was going into a trap. Tank's statements weren't simply petty. They were sharp, cold, and calculated. This wasn't a rant, this was a warning. So what precisely did Tank say? Quote, Crawford's a hell of a fighter, don't get me wrong, but going after Canelo? That's suicide. He ain't made for that weight. He ain't ready for such power. That's not grandeur, that's foolishness. Let's dissect that. Gervonta is pointing out what a lot of boxing fans have been muttering, that Terence Crawford may be biting off more than he can chew. Canelo Alvarez is not only a champion, he's a tank, pun intended, a brick wall at 168 pounds, with granite hands and an iron chin. He's battled light heavyweights. He's been in the trenches alongside brawlers, technicians, and legends. This gentleman has been in conflicts with Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and many others. And he's still standing at the top of the mountain. Now image Terence Crawford, a natural 140 to 147 man, jumping into that inferno. Tank views this not as heroism, but as illusion. But before we write off Crawford as irresponsible, we must understand where he's coming from. This guy isn't pursuing a payout, he's not thirsty for clout. He's already made history, uncontested at 140, unquestioned at 147. He's done what no one else in this period has. So what's left? Legacy, immortality. And to Bud Crawford, fighting and defeating Canelo would be the ultimate I told you so to the naysayers. It would vault him into the debate of best ever. Not only fantastic now, but eternally. And in his eyes, the danger is worth it. But Gervonta ain't hearing that. He sees things differently. Let's speak about the true problem here. Size and power. This is not simply a difference of talent, it's physics. Canelo Alvarez is a natural 168-pound boxer who's even fought at 175. He walks about freely at 180-plus pounds and possesses one of the sharpest left hooks in the game. When he hits, people remain struck. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford, although boasting knockout power at 147, has never been challenged by a real middleweight, much alone a super middleweight. Gervonta Davis understands power. That's his whole game. And from one knockout artist to another, he understands there's layers to this. Tank is saying, I know what a punch feels like. I know what size counts. And Crawford ain't ready for what's coming. He's not hate, he's warning. Now let's pull back the veil and speak about boxing politics. Why is this struggle even being considered? Because it sells. Canelo versus Crawford would generate massive numbers. A pay-per-view blockbuster. Two names with worldwide reach. It prints money. But Tank Davis, ever the realist, asks who this truly helps. He feels the promoters, the networks, and the commercial machine are forcing Bud into a deadly war for profit, not legacy. Quote from Tank, they want to see him lose. That's why they're pushing this. Ain't anyone defending Crawford, they're feeding him to the lions. That's some raw truth. In boxing, history teaches us the little man pursuing the larger champ. More often than not, it ends in agony. For some, this seems like deja vu. Remember when Roy Jones Jr. went up to heavyweight and defeated John Ruiz? Everyone assumed he'd broken the code. Then he came back down to face Tarver and his body never recovered. His career was never the same. Could the same thing happen to Crawford? Even if he miraculously defeats Canelo, what comes after? Is his physique permanently changed? Is he damaged goods back at 147 or 154? Gervonta Davis feels the danger is too high. And not worth it. He's not disputing Crawford's heart, he's questioning the price.